Okay, welcome back to the regular council meeting. Date is March the 3rd, 2026, time is 7:02. I'll call the meeting to order. We did report out of closed on the Curly Stewart. And that we'll have further discussion, all good news. So we'll address that later in the meeting. Right now, we'll move to the adoption of the agenda. Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda? Okay, moved by Councillor Abbott, second by Councillor Broughton. Any amendments, changes?
Not for me.
No, okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed, motion carried. Public participation. Anyone in the gallery wish to speak?
Me?
We
participate, just walk in.
Yeah, anyone in the gallery wish to speak?
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
All right, anyone online, Crystal?
No.
No, okay, we have no delegations this evening. We'll move to the approval of the minutes. Motion to approve February 3rd, 2026 minutes.
Move it.
Moved by Councillor Abbott, second by Councillor Broughton. Any amendments, changes?
Not for me.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Okay, we have February 17th, 2026 minutes. A motion to approve. Moved by Councillor Broughton, second by Councillor Cunliffe. Any amendments, changes?
No.
No, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed, motion carried. Okay, business arising from minutes. Any business arising? Councillor McLaughlin?
Thank you very much. To my colleagues, as we move toward the end of this term, I want to acknowledge the positive work we've done to strengthen our governance practices and improve how we manage meetings. I think we've made meaningful progress. Even with a relatively short time remaining, I believe we should continue refining our practices. Governance improvement is incremental, and small adjustments can have a significant impact. In that spirit, I'd like to offer a suggestion regarding the use of standing or recurring agenda items, particularly those that tend to be added on as on-table items. As a group, we previously agreed that on-table additions should be reserved for matters that are truly urgent and time sensitive. However, in the last short while, we've seen a pattern where certain topics are repeatedly added, even when there are no material developments. An example would be the recurring updates on Botany Creek, regardless of whether there is new information requiring council direction. When we do this, it can unintentionally consume meeting time without advancing decision-making. It may also send a message to staff that we do not trust their professional judgment regarding when and how to bring matters forward, whether through email correspondence or via a formal agenda item. A similar dynamic arises with references to the ombudsperson's report. This is an in-camera item and should not be addressed or mentioned in a public forum at all. Please respect this. If an individual council member has a question, the appropriate step is to contact the CAO directly. That is different from engaging all of council in a discussion on the topic that may be of immediate interest to only one or two members. If we are disciplined about this distinction, I believe it will further refine our meeting management, improve efficiency, keep confidential items confidential, and reinforce the governance administrative boundary we've been working to strengthen. My intention here is not to limit transparency or discussion, but to ensure that our agendas remain focused, strategic, and respectful of staff time and council's collective role. Thank you for listening.
Okay, Councillor Broughton?
There's kind of an internal conflict in the fact that the statement that was just read is talking about on-table items, and in fact, it's an on-table item. So I'm increasingly disturbed that I believe each meeting there has been such an on-table item. I certainly would like the opportunity to discuss some of the matters that were raised there. So I wholeheartedly support the effective functioning of council. But I take exception to some of the comments here, and I'm inherently concerned about an on-table item confronting or challenging on-table items.
Okay, any other councillors wish to speak?
Well, have to agree with Councillor Broughton. To be honest, the mentioning of ombudsperson is another one. So I think unfortunately to take consideration of what you actually just read, and whether I think we should be, hopefully this is the kind of, this matter's done with and we don't have any more of the stuff. We just get on with the business at council.
Okay, Councillor McLaughlin, I'd just like to thank you. I know, the previous meeting, you, read out a similar statement. And it was quite lengthy, and it addressed council working closely together and made some, what I, understood is to be statements of sort of putting people on notice or councillors on notice. So that's one thing. Today's statement, again, I think, once again, you brought up some important points. Botany Creek, I've been an advocate, I know Councillor Broughton, a stronger advocate of speaking to that topic every meeting. I think regardless, if we have something significant or whether it's small, I think it should be put on the list because it deserves to be heard in closed and in open at every meeting we have. So I would disagree on that front. I think what you had referred to on your last on-table item on the previous meeting was to do with safety harassment issues. And I think, you know, in regards to that, I'd like to put a motion forward that all independently authorized reports be released for public review and disclosure. And I think that would go, so I'm putting that motion forward. Do we have a second for that? Okay, Councillor Broughton seconded.
Yeah.
We'll have discussion. I'll speak to it first. And then we'll go around the room. My feeling is that we've spent, I just guess, but hundreds of thousands on reports during this term. And quite frankly, I am in favor of these reports being released publicly. And of course, if there's redactions to be made by our corporate counsel, I would be in favor of that. But I think these reports, when they regard safety matters of our residents and staff and such, they need to be released. And this goes for the various engineering reports, the various investigations, and so on. I am not in favor of keeping these from the public. I think that the public and the village of Lions Bay deserves to have full and open disclosure, and that was something that I made clear when I put my name in the hat for the mayor position. So this motion, I think, is something that we can all get behind. We can all agree on that open, transparent reporting to the public is necessary. And as I say, it has to be approved or looked at for redactions if necessary. But other than that, we should be reporting these out. And if we were reporting these out, I believe that council and the village would understand some of the issues that we're dealing with. So I'll go around the room. Is there any other councillors that would like to comment before we call the question? No? Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, motion defeated. Can you make note of that?
May I
So
just speak to that?
I'll just repeat just before we go, and the motion was that all independently authored reports be released for public review and disclosure. Okay, and Councillor Cunliffe, Councillor McLaughlin, Councillor Abbott voted against that.
And I'll
Okay,
speak
and
to
we've had
my-
our discussion on that,
Well, the rationale behind is that's a broad stroke.
but we
It's a
had our
case-by-case
debate on it,
basis.
so we've had our debate and we've called the question.
Okay,
Okay,
orders of the day.
all right, next item on the agenda. action log list, and that is page 20, 9.1. Is there any items that councilors would like to pull out and discuss? That's on page 20. Councilor Cunliffe?
I was just looking at 355 and thinking that that might be something that the EOC operator would like to look at with a evacuation
Somebody's up.
very top on there. There are right of ways and trail networks that have been somewhat encroached upon that could potentially be useful to look at as evacuation routes. And maybe gather any information that staff might have to provide.
Sorry, Councilor Cunliffe, which number was that? You
It's
said
355,
355, the top one.
355.
Yeah.
Uh,
Village connectivity.
If I may, Mayor
Yeah,
Barry,
Councilor
just
McLaughlin.
as in a brief break, I was, I'd mentioned that, the emergency operations coordinator, Mary Brown, met with, the contractor, the chosen contractor about the village evacuation plan. It's the very first preliminary meeting. So that is ongoing, and I think what Councilor Cunliffe is trying to do is, marry, 355 with what will be a pending evac plan.
Yeah.
So, I would suggest that, it's CAO's in charge of this. I believe, I'm pretty sure, Mrs. Brown would be keeping Mr. Blackwell up to date, so why don't we revisit this at the next meeting to see if it can be merged or taken on?
Okay, any other items?
If-
Councilor McLaughlin?
Thank you very much. This is under actually, I missed a vote on this one. Actually, hang on for a second.
Okay, well, Councilor McLaughlin looks that up. Any other items councilors would like to address?
I would just like to bring up, the new items for February 3rd meeting, listed as new, no updates, and ask the staff to actually bring us some progress updates on these items at the next meeting.
Ross, the items 370 to 374, Councilor Abbott's asking if you either have an update or would like to bring it to the next meeting.
If I could, so here's the question of council. Is this a question that Councillor Abbott has of staff, in which case an email will do? On the other hand, if this is something that all council wants to hear, we can provide something more fulsome.
I'm happy to send an email and get an update. That's what you prefer. I think there is an outstanding email on one of these, but sure, I'll send an email with the list.
Okay, Councilor Broughton?
Yeah, and the emails are copied to other council members, is that right?
Yes.
That would be a great way to communicate, thank you.
Okay. All right, with that,
Mayor Barry?
yeah.
Sorry, one more item. Item 368, which is the 2026 parking plan. I know it's been a very short time and there's been absences and departures from the office. So I'm not looking for anything at this second, but I'm hopeful that even if it's in part, in a formal way, CAO Blackwell can give us an update for the next council meeting. Would that be okay, Mr. Blackwell? Would you like to speak?
Mr. Blackwell?
Thank you. That is clairvoyance at its best. Staff have been talking about that as of, I believe it was yesterday, about that very thing, bringing an update on status and next steps and so forth to the next meeting.
Again, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, no other items? We'll move on to
Okay.
the staff report tree application number 139, and that's at 5 Brunswick Beach Road. The motion is that council approve the tree cutting permit application number 139, subject to the following conditions. These are the conditions 1 to 7 in the agenda. Do we have a motion to approve this?
So moved.
Okay, moved by Councillor Broughton, seconded by Councillor McLaughlin. Discussion?
I'll just pass one,
Councillor Abbott?
I'll just pass one comment. One of the neighbours makes a statement. I'll just read it to you. Although we are generally not supportive of tree removal unless they are diseased, we do not oppose this application unless the property owners also want to remove trees on their own property. It's a problematic statement, and someone should have pointed out to, I hope someone pointed out to them that we can't provide conditions into these tree permits that, you know, future instruct a resident what they can or cannot do on their own property. So I just hope staff actually are cognizant of that and actually do go back and respond to these comments where they're not appropriate.
Okay, any other comments?
I also, I went and looked at the trees. One of them has a big lean. I can see the issue. The other one standing straight. I don't know why it's agreed to be removed. But other than that comment, I guess there isn't any other specific complaints or objections from people. Yeah, I just think that we should be maintaining as much of our tree canopy as we can, unless there are reasons and issues. And I don't see it. I see the issue for one of these and not the other one.
Okay. Any other councillors who wish to weigh in before we call the question? No? Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, the next item is tree application 140 at 2050 Ocean Road. The motion is the council approve tree cutting permit application number 140, subject to the following conditions, and again 1 to 7 in your agenda, 1 to 6, sorry, in your agenda. Do we have a motion to approve? Moved by Councillor McLaughlin, second by Councillor Bowden. Discussion.
Yeah.
Hey, Councillor Abbott.
Similar to the previous statement I made, I have a bigger concern with this one. The meeting said that there was no opposition, but if you read the comments, the neighbour, the immediate neighbour, says, I support the removal of the 2 maple trees as they pose a potential risk to hydrowires. I strongly oppose the removal of the conifer. So, although someone's ticked the support box, he hasn't supported. He's actually said the very opposite. So we have opposition to it. I'm also concerned by the report that's attached. So the rules of the terms of reference for the tree committee, or sorry, the bylaw that manages these tree permits, state that you need to demonstrate the trees are on municipal land. And the form, and I'll read it, says clearly on municipal land, yes/no. If no, survey required at applicant's cost. The person processing form is written next to it, potentially on municipal land. So just by that statement, it means you have to go get a survey. And I don't see a survey attached. I don't think one's been done. So I think we can't deal with this, in my opinion, we can't deal with this application until the process has been properly followed. And clearly it needs a survey. And we have a neighbour who's in opposition.
Okay, any other comments?
If I may,
Yes, Mr. Blackwell, and then we'll go to Councillor Bowden.
just to provide some clarification through you to Councillor Abbott, standard staff process is that if there is any question around sighting of the trees, staff always include that as a condition, that any trees cut have to be proven to be within municipal rights of way or to clarify the location so that they're not on private property.
That's not what this application says.
That's what the letter, the approval, if council approves an application, that's what the approval letter conditions include.
You're saying there will be a survey done before they remove the trees?
If there's any doubt whether or not where the trees are located, that is a requirement. We have a legal obligation to ensure that confirmation.
So Ross, can we be clear here? It says staff have written potentially on municipal land, so they've already confirmed that's necessary. So can we be clear that you're saying there will be a survey done before you can issue a permit?
Okay,
Correct.
Mr. Blackwell.
Yes.
Councillor Abbott, please go through the chair. Now, answer this question, please, and then we'll move to Councillor Bowden. He had his hand up. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Through you. The answer is that, as I mentioned earlier, where there is a question, staff always includes as a condition of approval that a survey must be undertaken prior to any tree removal, and that survey must confirm that the trees are appropriately sited. So it's included as a condition.
Thank you. Councillor Bowden.
So the situation here appears that it's either on village land, which we're making a decision about, or it's on the land of the person making the application. Is that clear? Is that correct? If it's not on a neighbor's property, there's no
Mr. Blackwell.
question about whether it's on a neighbor's property.
Mr. Blackwell.
Thank you. Through you. So what I'm referring to with regard to clarification of tree siting is where there is a question as to the location of the tree. So whether it is on municipal land or an adjacent property, that has to be confirmed if it's unclear. If the tree happens to be on the applicant's property, then it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Then they've gone through the process, paid the money, and it is what it is. We
Okay,
don't need to clarify whether it's on their property or the municipal property if the tree permit is issued. All we need to make sure is that they're not cutting down the trees belonging to an adjacent property.
Okay, Councillor Abbott, second and last time.
We've had this discussion before. We cannot issue a permit for a tree that's not on municipal land. So the trees are close to the boundary of two properties, nothing to do with us. As long as it's not on municipal land, we have nothing to do with it. We should never issue a permit for a tree that may be disputed between two neighbors. That is something we do not want to get involved. We cannot get involved with. We precluded from getting involved with. So I think we should come back with clarity on this matter as to where the tree is before we deal with it. That's what we need.
Mr. Blackwell.
Mr. Mayor, may I speak now? My name is Shrevsky.
Sorry,
The
hold
survey
on.
was done. It's
Okay,
clearly
Christina.
notified in the village. There's
Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna go to I'm gonna go to Mr. Blackwell. And if council chooses to hear from the resident, we could do so, but that'd be subject to council's approval. Okay, Mr. Blackwell, and then we'll go back to Councillor Broughton a second time. Okay,
Thank you.
Mr. Blackwell.
Thank you. So further to Councillor Abbott's comments, that's exactly what I'm saying. To be clear, that's exactly what I've stated. So let me state it again. If staff are unclear as to the location of the tree with regard to an adjacent property owner, a survey is required before they're permitted to cut down any trees. Because it would be inappropriate, it'd be illegal for us to issue a permit that authorizes tree cutting on an adjacent property. Okay, so that's clear. That scenario number 2, somebody applies, they suggest that the trees are on municipal land, staff look at it and say it's possible. If it's not on municipal land, it's on the applicant's property. We're not going to require a survey and an applicant spend all that money on a survey to clarify it first. They can make the application if it's approved. Then whether it's on municipal land or their own land doesn't make any difference to staff. Our only concern is that it's not on an adjacent property owner's property. So that's part of the owner's due diligence. They could choose. They could choose to spend the money and do the survey first, or if they can choose to proceed down the route of an application. If it's approved, it's no harm, no foul to us if it's municipal land or their own land.
Okay, both the councillors have spoke twice, and the rules are twice. for all the councilors, and then we, call the question. If the only outside item, if council were to choose, is to hear from the resident at this time, but that's not necessary, we can call the question, so.
What I heard him say may be helpful to this discussion, so
Would council-
I would be willing
Call
to
the question.
hear for a second.
Okay,
I would say the public participation provided that opportunity.
yeah,
Okay.
okay, all in favor? Opposed, motion carried. Okay, next item is tree application 141 at 15 and 25 Periwinkle Place. The motion is the council approve tree cutting permit application number 141, subject to the following conditions. Once again, 1 to 7 in your agenda. Do we have a motion to approve that? Okay, moved by Councilor Broden, second by Councilor McLaughlin. Discussion.
I would like to recuse
Councilor Gunn?
myself from this vote.
Okay, any other councilors wish to speak before we call the question?
Yeah, no,
Councillor Abbott.
I think this one's fairly simple, small scraggly trees. I'm actually wasn't sure if it needed a permit because of the size of the trees of multiple stalks out of one
An abundance.
base. So, but it would take a fair bit of math to work out whether it does or doesn't, because there's like half a dozen thin branches coming up, so I think it's fairly clear.
There's,
Okay.
CEO has his hand up.
Mr. Blackwell?
Sorry, just to be the procedural goaltender here. If somebody wishes to recuse themselves, they actually have to physically remove themselves from the meeting. Sorry.
No worries.
Okay, thank you.
Good point, thank you.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed, motion carried. Okay. Councillor Cunliffe, you can come back. Okay, next item is 10
Barry, did you want to announce the decision?
It was in favor. Okay, next item is, the 10.2.4 Curly Stewart Memorial Trust Fund Committee. And the motion is the council authorize the committee to be formed as per the terms of reference, and that the council authorize an increase in the reward to $2,000. And I'll pass it over to Councillor Abbott to give us more detail and good news.
Okay. So as council be aware, because I've brought this up before, the committee several years ago decided to stop taking taxpayer money to pay for this, to raise their own funds, and as they are not a profit center, they committed to increase the award each year based on how much money they fund, obviously keeping a good strong contingency. They've done that very successfully. We spoke about increasing it at $250 a year until we got to a number of $1,500. We have made considerably better progress on fundraising than that. And we're now sitting with over $10,000 in the bank, which helps to add interest and provide funds. And we want to increase the award to $2,000. So that is the recommendation. And that would need council approval, the way it was, the original terms of reference was written. We've also gone out and advertised for new members, as we obligated to do every year. No one put their name forward, so we would like to reappoint the existing committee. Yeah, other than that, I can take any questions, or
Would you like to move the motions?
I would like to move both motions.
Okay, second. Councillor Cunliffe, and discussion comments, Councillor Bowden.
Do you know roughly how many years the Curly Stewart award has been given?
Well, that's a tough
Over
question.
about 30?
I would say it's around there. I'm trying to think. It was
We have to go count on the plaque.
I could. I know there's some in the 90s, so I think we're close to 30 years because there was some in in the 90s. Yeah, sometime in the 90s.
And if you read the
I should
name,
know
there's
this.
some
I should know the answer, but
excellent. Okay.
As the Historical Society representative, I should know that too, so you're a
Yeah.
good company.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed, motion carried.
Okay, I had, three motions I had that council authorized committee to be formed as part of the terms of reference. Do you need to vote on that?
We voted on the first two, and the third was
That
the
council,
reappointment.
no, that council authorize, the committee to be formed as part of the terms of reference. Do you need to vote on that every year?
We can vote on that if necessary. Okay, Councillor,
I didn't write the resolution, so that's fine.
Okay,
Councillor Abbott,
So
you like,
moved.
okay, moved by Councillor Broughton, second by Councillor Abbott, all in favor?
all right,
Opposed,
Yes.
motion carried. Thank you very much for that.
procedurally, thank you.
Okay, we'll move to correspondence. Is there any items that, councillors would like to pull? Councillor Broughton, you're in charge of the correspondence.
I'll be responding to these two letters of council's witty.
Okay,
But I,
do you want to reference the letters, just the two letters here?
okay, there's two letters, one's regarding the survey. The staff initiated survey. And the second is offering to assist, the first is pointing out some concerns with the survey and offering to assist in I guess updating or redoing, I'm not sure. And the second is offering to assist. The staff initiated the concept of going to the community and asking for input. And council ultimately left that in staff's hands. And the survey was established and sent out to residents. And there are some concerns about certain aspects of the survey. But my position would be that we, if some of the way the questions are asked or the mechanism that's used, if it causes us some concern, we need to take that into consideration when we're considering the outcomes. But I think we supported staff's initiative of seeking information from the community, and probably it could have been more effective, or certain some individuals have concerns about that. But at this point, I think the survey has been sent out, the data will be collected, and I think we should take the information that's provided in the context of any concerns we might have.
Mr. Blackwell, there's been some good letters from some residents. Is there some way that they could, I guess their suggestions could be incorporated, or that you would reach out? I know Councillor Broughton's mentioning he's gonna reach out. Is that appropriate, or would you as staff like to reach out? What's your feedback on that?
Well, the ship has sailed. The survey closed on the 27th of February.
Yeah.
So now the data is being consolidated and the report prepared. Just to remind council, the company that we utilized is a company that has prepared many such surveys. The ones that immediately come to mind include, I could be wrong, but I believe it's the District of North Vancouver, but certainly Squamish, Duncan, and many other municipalities. So they are very familiar with this line of work. It's their wheelhouse. Staff worked with them to fine tune the questions and to make sure that they were suitable for what we need at the staff level. And the survey was launched. We received some feedback. Some people didn't like the answer options. They wanted an option that included not applicable. And there's pros and cons to that as being an answer. Nonetheless, the survey company did include that early on as an additional option. And again, this it's important to remember that this is an information gathering exercise. It's not meant to be anything definitive that you can, take to the bank on any matter. It's merely indicative to give sort of a general sense to staff about where the community generally lies on a number of these issues. if council wants to see the results, and I would be surprised to hear that you didn't, if you do, and I assume you do, we're happy to sort of share that, we'll certainly be sharing it with the community and facilitate bigger discussions. But what I really want to emphasize in this meandering narrative of mine is that it's not supposed to be a surgical exercise. This is supposed to be, so we're aspirational to sort of the general trends and feelings. And so if this works well, if we get what we need from this, we will take that and we will make any further adjustments to the process and for the future, remove questions, add questions for the future. And the future might be, somewhere in the order of, say, 2 years from now. We will keep benchmarking against the data to see where we're achieving progress in service delivery.
Thank you very much for that. Any comments?
Yeah.
Councillor Abbott?
Thank you for that clarification, CAO. I just want to go slightly further on that clarification. So council did ask to have some input. I did in this chamber into the survey. We were told it was a staff operational function. So just the way Michael was wording it earlier, I just want to be clear. It wasn't council did not get that opportunity to have input in the survey. But I'm also not puzzled, but I just want to clarify something that was just said. So further optionality was added into the survey after it was launched. Is that what I heard?
Not that non-applicable.
Mr. Blackwell?
Thank you. So I'll start with the first point. So staff brought this to council as sort of a comprehensive initiative. At that time, council resolved to not move forward with the survey. The council's view, in summary, would be effectively that the timing wasn't good. So given the other priorities of council that occurred after that decision, i.e. work with the strategic plan and so forth, and staff's own sort of particularly infrastructure questions, we felt that staff needed that feedback. Another example of why we needed the feedback, as council is well aware, sort of questions around garbage pickup and so forth are pressing issues. So we wanted to sort of get a feel for where the community sat with regard to this. The last question was to do with an addition. I believe it was somewhere in the order of a weekend, and that was not NA, not applicable, was included as a selection option.
Okay, Councillor Abbott?
So you're gonna have to interpret people that towards the end of the survey had further optionality than those that were frustrated in the beginning and they couldn't go redo the survey. Because I heard people that were frustrated and actually didn't complete it. Didn't realize there was further optionality added. It's news to me. Okay, it just makes it a little bit more difficult to analyze the data that's coming in when people have different choices.
Okay, any other councillors wish to weigh in? No? Okay, Councillor Broughton, anything else in the correspondence?
Well, just personally, as other than responding to this, I just think that this discussion is helpful in terms of providing a context for when we do get the results, or when you do that, share that with us, that we have, discussed it and some of the concerns that have been raised. I'll just get that. If the council's support, I would just reply to both of the letter writers indicating that we've had this discussion.
Okay, Councillor Abbott, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I just want to hear what Michael's saying. I think given what we heard tonight, I think the response is going to be council heard what you had to say and had a discussion, and that's about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't say anything. Okay.
You can refer the tape in the time.
And then people could listen to this discussion.
All right, Councillor Broughton, next item.
If I could, sorry.
That's it.
Yeah, Mr. Blackwell?
Just one thing I meant to add and forgot, just a bit of data. Roughly a week before the survey closed, I received information that 126 surveys had been completed. So that's just some background information.
Good, thanks for that. Okay, Council Bowden?
There was just the two
Okay,
letters, so just receive the letters,
all right.
which is done anyway.
Okay, we'll move right to public questions, comments. Anyone in the gallery wish to speak? No? Okay, anyone online, Crystal?
No.
Oh, okay, motion to adjourn. Moved by Councilor McLaughlin, second by Councilor Bowden, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed, motion carried. Thank you very much, and have a great evening.
Thank you.
Good night, Council.
Rossi,
Good night.
Pardon?